TikTok destroyed hobbies.
I did some damage. This is the third order I have placed this month.
I got some on the TikTok shop.
Got off the TikTok shop.
I will say, I feel like TikTok, when people are like showing their hobbies and stuff, you have to have the most stuff. You have to be the most knowledgeable. You have to be like this crazy like person in order to just have a hobby. Like, you can't just be normal about it. It has to be like your entire being is just this hobby, and you spend so much money on it as displayed like already here. Like, you just have to be like amazing at this hobby.
Both of mine from TikTok shop.
TikTok shop.
Of TikTok shop.
In my opinion, they're all worth your money.
Do you remember when hobbies were just fun? You colored because it was relaxing. You read a book because you actually liked the book. Well, then TikTok came along and decided that hobbies weren't for enjoyment anymore. They were for content. And somewhere in that shift, the joy disappeared because now you can't just do a hobby. You have to perform it. And that performance comes with rules, aesthetics, and a giant price tag. Because TikTok doesn't want you to enjoy a hobby. It wants you to buy one. And the first hobby that TikTok ruined is coloring. Yes, coloring, that thing you did as a kid while your parents argued in the background. Well, it's back, but not in a good way. Because coloring now is kind of intense. Because right away, it feels like there's this pressure to take it super seriously.
Dude, yeah, like it's like a freaking Picasso art form. Like, you have to like just make it so grand and like a freaking portrait instead of just coloring the lines. You have to make it like some sort of like new modern art, just like with the shading and oh my god, like you have to be an artist to color in a book. Like when I colored in a book, I low-key just grabbed whatever like marker was closest to me, and I just sometimes I'd even go in the lines, but like I would just like the bear right here, that would be like green, that would be like purple, I don't know, like I would just grab and just freaking color. Like, why are we doing, like, shading and freaking... I mean, you can do whatever you want, but, like, Jesus, like, highlighting and stuff, like, you have to know color and color theory and all that stuff, which is just insane.
TikTok immediately pushes you these super perfectly blended, hyper aesthetic pages that make it very clear that this is not a casual hobby anymore, okay? This is art. And because everybody uses the same handful of coloring books, it somehow weirdly becomes this competition of who can color the exact same page better. And before you know it, you're not just coloring for fun, you're learning how to blend, how to shade, how to build a cohesive palette. Trying to do cool effects like everyone else and realizing I'll never be good at coloring. Oh my god. When you spend all day coloring a page and you realize it turned out ugly. When coloring becomes too stressful because the other people are better than you and you get no views, so you just sit there slowly losing passion and talent. What do you mean you're losing passion over coloring? Like, this is supposed to calm your brain, not give you performance anxiety. She doesn't know it yet, but the coloring she spent hours on will only get 300 views again. Dude, this was never meant to be like a competitive thing. You don't have to post your pages online. My god, a hobby is supposed to be something you do for yourself in your spare time. It doesn't need to be filmed, edited, and validated by strangers on the internet.
Stop comparing yourself to everybody else on here who does different styles, like in their most...
I will say I hate these lashes. I hate them. Why are they like what? Okay, this lady's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I just every time I see people with these lashes, I don't know. They look like a shelf. Like, you can just like set something like a book or something on it. Like it's like that's the it's so it's like a cup. It's like a bowl. I don't know. I just don't like them.
Immaculate, time-consuming way. I take
They're like
hours
short
to do
intentionally.
one page
I don't know.
sometimes.
I have really, really short lashes. Like, I have short lashes. Why are you making them shorter? What? Why can't you just like? I thought we wanted them like longer, but
Sometimes I only take 30 minutes. Sometimes I do color out of the
are these fake lashes or are these actual lashes? Also, why your coloring sucks. it's coloring. You can do whatever you want.
My point is, it's just to have fun, and your art is your art.
Yes! Yes! If the pressure to color the perfect page doesn't ruin your day, your lack of art supplies definitely will. Because on Color Talk, nothing works like a normal hobby, okay? Because if creators aren't posting magazine quality hyper-blended pages from the same trendy book, they're posting their massive supply hauls.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I've seen
I
these.
might have gone a little bit overboard.
Holy,
A
like
little
thousands
overboard.
of dollars.
What it looks like
Thousands
starting
of
Coloring
dollars.
Talk.
There's Mummy's mortgage. Oh, there's the food that we could have had this month. In it goes. Oh, there's our holiday to Bermuda going right in the cake.
Now the funniest part about this specific creator
Oh
is that she
my
posted
God.
this giant haul around this time last year, and scrolling through her page now, she hasn't posted about coloring in months. It's literally just cats, which,
Oh my
what
gosh, she
happened to the
wasted
coloring?
it.
Yeah, so to me this kind of just feels less like a coloring hobby and more like a shopping hobby.
yeah.
Because you really don't need all this stuff to color. If you actually love coloring, then the satisfaction of just doing it should be enough. But for a lot of these people, it seems like buying the supplies gives them more joy than actually using them.
yeah.
Which is fine, you know, do whatever you want with your money, okay? Just be aware that if you get all giddy waiting for the Amazon man to show up, maybe that isn't the best long-term wellness plan. Retail therapy is not a substitute for actual therapy.
There's Mummy's mortgage.
And by the way, I'm not blaming the everyday creators who go all in on a new hobby, because do whatever you want with
Oh
your
my
money,
god, I
right?
do that shit. I go all in on a new hobby. Yeah, I've done that once or twice because so with my family, in order to like spend money, like to like get stuff that I want, like I had to get a job first. And I remember being like 14 and really wanting a job because then my parents were like, okay, if you get a job, then you can get a debit card so I could spend money online. And I worked at a movie theater. They hired at 14. I don't know if that's I think that's legal. I don't know. So I got like my paycheck, which was only $10 an hour, which isn't that much, but at the time I was like, yes, like my own money, like bigger money, and yeah, I used to like draw a lot, like a lot, like I drew like almost every day, and I remember like spending a lot of money on like art books, like blank pages to like draw in, and I only used one. I only used one, and it was lined. Oh, it was lined, and like I drew like a bunch in it, and then like I got like all these other like art books that I just never used because I low-key just stopped drawing. Like one day I was like, you know what, like my hand hurts. I didn't post it online. I didn't post any of my drawings online, but I low-key just like stopped. I was just like, eh. And then like I'd have these little phases where I would like get back into it, but I never was at like the peak that I was at. Like when I stopped drawing, like I was at like my peak, like I would draw, I would color, I would highlight, and then when I stopped, I just like it was just like it went and then just straight down. Like I was just so bad. I still am bad at I don't know how to draw. Like that was I want to say years ago, but that was a long time ago. And I look back at my old drawings and thinking, like, as soon as I drew them, I'd be like, this is so bad. Like, oh my god, look at all these mistakes. And then now that I look back on those, like, sometimes I pull it, like, my old art book out, and I'm like, oh, like, memories. They were really good. They were really good. But I don't know, like, after every drawing, I'd be like, oh, like, the eyes messed up, the hair looks bad, like, ew, like, this is so nasty, or whatever. Not nasty, but, like, this is just so bad. Like, I remember, like, hating on myself so much that I low-key just stopped doing it. Like, I hated on myself so much that I just stopped drawing, because I was like, you know what, I suck, I'm just gonna stop drawing. Damn.
I don't care. But I am gonna blame the influencers who push these absurdly expensive supplies as beginner must-haves. Because apparently you can't just pull out leftover coloring pencils you've had since middle school. No, are you some kind of medieval peasant? No, keep up. This is serious business now.
Here's everything you need to start your coloring journey. So first you need some markers. So I think the perfect set is the 120 set of Ohuhus. This has a good variety of colors, as you can see, like you're able to shade with them.
$200. Okay.
Or if you want to go full out, you can get the 320 set.
Okay, let's see how much the 320 set is.
$1,000. $1,000.
Yeah,
my
I
god.
think I'm gonna stick with the first ones.
And then next you're gonna need some acrylic markers. These are for like covering black lines or adding details to your pages.
60. Okay.
I bought like again when I used to draw. When I used to draw, my mom bought me these like not acrylic, but they were just like colored pencils. Because I used to use outside like my room, I used to have like this like art station where it had like colored pencils and crayons and all that stuff. I would just use colored pencils to like, I would draw the outline, I'd like in pencil, and then I'd outline it in pen, and then I would just get like I wouldn't really do that. I didn't shade. Like I would just like, oh, this part of like the suit's like green, this part's like yellow, this part's whatever. I think I have my art book up there. I might show later, not right now. But yeah, like I didn't really shade until my mom bought me these like, I thought they were really expensive, like colored pencils, but they're like $30. But like I thought those were pretty expensive for like colored pencils. Like that just came in at 10. But yeah, I used those, and then I got like really professional, not pens, but like markers to outline. Like it would be like 0.1 tip, 0.3, 0.5 tip or whatever. So I could like adjust the thickness of how thick I wanted the outline to be wherever I was outlining. And yeah, so that's when I started like shading, and then I started using like really professional like outlines. And it was still on the notebook paper that's lined, but it's a lined notebook. And yeah, like that's all I used in the beginning. And then like I started kind of upping my game, and then I just stopped drawing. Don't ask me to draw. I cannot draw. I can stick figures. That's all I can do. I could do a duck. I could do a duck on a skateboard, and I can do it. I can draw him doing an ollie. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I can do.
Then we're going to need some coloring books. So I have 3 recommendations. Fuzzy Huga by Vivi Tinta. It's a very cozy coloring book.
$6. I'm okay with that.
And then there's also the Berry Coloring Fairy Dreams coloring book from Amazon.
$18. Okay.
And then if we're looking for something a little bit more higher quality, we got Bobby Goods. So this is on cardstock paper. It's on her actual website.
$35. Okay. $318. This is a beginner. Okay, how much can you make donating plasma? Between 30 and 80. Now at this point I had to stop and ask, why are all of these influencers promoting the exact same markers and the exact same books?
Paid.
Are they getting paid?
You have been waiting for Ohuhu to be back in stock here on TikTok?
Trying to
Look
get
at all
paid.
of these markers that I got off the TikTok shop.
Do all of these people actually really care about coloring? Do they like it? Is it a hobby for them? Or are they just trying to make a quick buck off of the trend?
My new alcohol markers finally arrived, and
Trying to
I've
make
been so impatiently waiting for these to come.
Click the orange shopping cart above my name to grab a set for yourself.
Because it makes sense that they would push the most expensive product because they'll make the highest commission. So, I don't know, is the intention pure? But at the same time, I get it, people gotta eat, blah blah blah. And listen, I cannot talk. This video is literally sponsored by ZocDoc. Take it away, Shira, too. Okay, but seriously, if you're picking up a new hobby, you should start small. See if you like it. Because most of the time, the novelty will wear off pretty quickly. And that's normal, okay? But what's not normal is sinking hundreds of dollars into a hobby before you even know if you like it. Why would you want to be stuck with 500 markers and 10 half-used coloring books? You can't really donate half of those half-used coloring books anyway. A lot of this stuff ends up in landfill. Also, don't shop on TikTok Shop or Amazon. Buy second-hand off of Facebook Marketplace. I actually looked up some second-hand markers, and it's all there. Ohuhu and everything. Lots of popular books too.
I did some damage, so let's do a haul.
Speaking of books, let's talk about Book Talk, another hobby that TikTok completely ruined. So Book Talk actually pushed 59 million book sales in 2024, which is up from 13 million in 2020. Which, I mean, on paper sounds amazing, right? I'm so happy that people are finally reading. But when you look into it, the reality
I will say, I feel like with Book Talk, there's a lot wrong with Book Talk, but a lot of people, I feel like, just buy books to put on the shelf, and then it's just like, oh, this looks pretty on my shelf, and they never actually, like, read the book. So if you see a book on TikTok, I would just, like, So like it's recommended to you and it's like, oh, this is the greatest book I've ever read. I would just look it up, like look up the summary, see if it's kind of a book that you'd vibe with. And honestly, I would just not go off of Book Talk, especially if you're like a young person, because most of them are just like smutty, like just smutty. I read, okay, I read. I don't read like a lot, but like sometimes if I just sit down with a book, I'm reading Fahrenheit 451 right now. That's really interesting. I like the wording of it, and I look-y really like how the author words things. It's just very like, ooh, getting me to think. I'm very much an English brain. Very much an English brain. But, you know, now that I have a little bit more time, I've been reading a lot. And it's just like kind of do your own research. Like if you're interested in a topic, just kind of like look up books yourself on that topic. I really wouldn't go off of Book Talk, but you can read whatever you want. Like if Book Talk recommended it to you and you're like, oh, I really like the book, I'm gonna buy it, and you read it and you're like, this is a great book, like good for you, yeah. Maybe take more of that creator suggestions, but I would just look up like the summary and kind of like on I think it's Goodreads. I don't know, but like one of those sites that has like stars on the book. See if it's like good or not. Because I have bought some where I'm like, I don't really like it, but I thought I would because this creator was like, oh my god, it's the greatest book ever. Because a lot of books are like subjective. Like you can't really like you like what you like you like what. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking.
Is much more grim because most of those books that are being sold aren't actually being read. They're just being collected.
Exactly. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Okay, so 99% of the books that I got,
it's just
I know
on the
nothing
shelf.
of. Only know what I know from TikTok reviews.
This lady bought an entire library
And didn't read a
in
single
one
one.
afternoon because the algorithm told her to.
So yeah, this is my book haul. Let me know which ones I should read first after Turn Glass, and if you recommend any more books.
She's never reading all these books. She knows it, we know it, and God knows it. At some point, we have to admit, okay, this is not a reading hobby. This is a buying hobby. Book buying has genuinely become a...
I really like this creator.
separate hobby, completely detached from reading itself, and Book Talk celebrates it. And people don't even try to hide it. They say it openly.
Reading books, definitely a hobby. Buying books, not reading them. Buying more books, also a hobby.
Scroll
That's
Book
just
Talk for just 10
consumerism.
seconds and you'll see the pattern. It's
It's literally all just consumerism. Like that's just consume. Read the books at least.
Aesthetic shelves, reorganizing videos. That is the content, okay? And actually reading of the books.
I do like watching when they like put their books on the shelf and it makes like that like clinking sound. I do like watching those, I will say. And it's like all in like I really like when they're like color coded. It's like a rainbow. I mean, maybe kind of, but I just like it when they put it in. I also really like the smell of books as well. I love the smell of half price books. I don't know, it's just like I just walk in, I'm like, oh, it smells so good in here. It's like old, dusty, crusty, like you're gonna like off like you blow on the book and it's just gonna be just dust in the air. Oh my god, they're barely falling apart. Like it's just I love the smell of half price books. I love going in there and just shopping around the different sections. That's where I get most of my books, is half price books. And I go to Barnes & Noble, but half price books is just, I just love the smell. I love the smell in there. It's just a top 10 smell, I will say.
That doesn't really happen as much as TikTok would like you to believe. Book Talk isn't just encouraging people to read, it's encouraging them to consume at the same pace as fast fashion.
Romance books are becoming fast fashion. There are authors and certain kinds of books where they come out with a book or two a year and you can kind of feel that like they're feeding into the market instead of like actual writing, whether it be that there's not enough editing, the story doesn't make any sense, there's no plot.
Creators feel pressure to post constantly, but reading a whole book takes time. So instead of reviews, discussions, and actual opinions, Book Talk has defaulted to the fastest form of content, hauls.
Let's go through my new books.
Hey, so like once again, we've just like somehow managed to accumulate a
few more new books.
I mean, it's the exact same cycle we saw with the 2010 YouTube and Shein hauls, except now the fast fashion is books. Nobody has time to read them, so the only thing left to post is, the buying of them.
I did some damage, so let's do a haul.
Okay, here's my birthday book haul. We're gonna do this back first.
Hey to these creators, again, building a giant library full of books is awesome. It's my dream. I'm genuinely jealous. I physically cannot.
Floor to ceiling. I want Beauty and the Beast when she walks into his library. The live action one when she walks in. Oh my god, there's so many books. I want that. I want that, and I want to have said, I have read every single one of these. I have read every single one of these. I want to say, I want that to happen. Like, that's literally my dream. Okay, I want to say dream. But, like, it's like a goal. Like, a big goal of mine. To just, like, walk in and, like, have, like, another person with me. And then, this is my humble library. It's my little library. It's just my little library. And it's just, like, floor to ceiling with so many different books. And it's, like, different languages and stuff. Yeah, I've read every single one of this section, this section, this section. Just, like, brag, low-key. That'd be awesome. I want that to happen. That's probably not going to happen in my lifetime, but I will try. Trust me, I will try.
Own a library with that many books unless I want to fall through my own floor and end up living in the unit downstairs, okay? And some of these setups are insane. I mean, this book talk creator literally has handmade shelves for all of her books.
That's
cool.
cool.
It's been a very long time since I've addressed
that's
this.
Sick.
So
no, that's sick. Look, it's like falling.
So
that's
all
so
my
cool.
shelves, I actually built on my own. Like
that's
we went
insane.
out.
My grandpa built that bookshelf. He built that bookshelf for me. Yeah. I don't know if it was for me, but I have the bookshelf. Okay, I have it. And it's full of different knickknacks and stuff. I mean, I have like one whole shelf in the middle. It's just full of manga. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I will say I don't really buy manga anymore because I just read it like online. But I do like the physical media, like not the physical media, but like the physical like book in my hand, which is why I don't really buy like Audible or like a Kindle or anything because I would just rather have the book and I'm like different. I'm like so different. I don't have a Kindle. Thinking about getting one though, but I just prefer like the actual just the actual book. Which is why I go to Half Price Books, because it's cheaper than Barnes & Noble. Hashtag Half Price Books for the win. I love it. I love it in there.
Every piece of wood, sanded the wood, painted the wood.
That's dedication.
Measured all the shelves out. We hand cut every single curve on these curved shelves.
So she's actually built all of this in just 2 years. And my question is, how do you fill up all of these shelves with that many books in just 2 years?
I think I have legitimately reached the place where I have no more space on the shelf. Like, I am stacking books on top of each other just to get stuff to fit.
You know, it's about curation, which should take a lot of time, effort, and luck. You know, it's about finding rare gems in side streets of a random bookstore in a random city, okay?
So
you know, a collection should contain things you've interacted with, not things you bought because they were trending on the app that day. And that's part of the problem is that book talk makes people blind buy books the same way perfume talk makes people blind buy scents, purely based on, vibes and a 10-second review. And when you constantly do not finish books, you're impulse buying. It's not because you're lazy or not a real reader, it's because you're buying books based on marketing, not your actual taste.
You're buying the hobby.
Why you're reading so many bad books. If you're routinely DNFing books, it's telling me that you're not reading them in a store before you buy them, which tells me that more than likely, and I've fallen victim to this myself, you saw them on your FYP, someone recommended it, and you blind bought it. Publishers are getting the feedback that people are buying a lot of these books, that these marketing techniques, that these writing styles.
That's why. Like, book companies just want to pump out books. Like, they just want to keep pumping out books, making deals with TikTok, promote my book or whatever. And it's just, they're just not good. So why do we keep buying them? It's because, like, people on TikTok are like, consume this book. That's why people, like, it's the same thing with the music industry as well. Like, I feel like my personal opinion, that a lot of them are just pumping out songs, and they don't have to be good, but if they pump out enough, the algorithm will take it and kind of like run with it. It's the same with like book talk. Like, a lot of these people are buying these books from these creators who are like, this book changed my life. Okay, I'm gonna go buy it then, and I'm just gonna put it on my shelf because it's cool and aesthetic that way as well. Just like they're doing. Like, it's just like the influencer is just like, go buy, you gotta buy it. Run to your store before they're sold out. Just run to it. And that's why a lot of the books that are coming out just feel like lazy and just unedited, like that lady said earlier, like not enough thought, and like it takes years to write a good book. Like, it takes a long time to like figure out like the dynamics of the characters and what's gonna happen, and how are you gonna write that out. Like, you can, I don't think you can just do that in a year, unless if you're like you've been cooking this up in your brain for like a while and you have everything figured out and you just kind of go. Because also, like, the editing process takes a while. You gotta market it as well. You have to edit and edit and edit and edit and then edit and edit again and again. Why do you think a lot of these creators, like, it doesn't take a year to crank out 1, 2, or 3 books. It takes years to crank out like even just a whole series.
Styles are successful, and then because they're an industry, they are incentivized to pick up more books like that book that you will probably continue to blind buy, even though you don't like them. Good books have always existed alongside bad books, but if there is a trend in the books that you are purchasing, that it turns out that you don't like the way they're written, or you don't like the plot, or you don't like some other element of them, or you think they're not as good as a book you read 10 years ago, you are contributing to the problem by continuing to tell publishers to option and publish more of those books. There's definitely a problem where people are pushing, and by people I mean influencers, are pushing books because they are paid to do so that are probably not that good. But I strongly believe that we all have a lot more power than we think we do, and I think it's time for some people to take responsibility for their own purchasing decisions.
That's the thing. It always goes back to influencers, TikTok shop affiliated products. Because do you think that this lady with this amazing library bought all these books herself? No, a lot of them are paid promotions. And every other day there's a new book talk book trending and another special edition to another book you already have, which triggers FOMO and art scarcity. And that's why people buy multiple versions of the same book.
I have a lot of copies of Fourth Wing. I really like this book, and I'm gonna go through my whole collection. It's been a while since I did this, and everyone really liked it last time.
How are there that many special editions of the same book? It's almost as tall as her. The only time I have repurchased...
I did not pre-watch this. I did it, I swear. That's crazy.
The book. It's because I got a signed copy of my favorite book. That's it. I don't care if it's in a different color, in a different shade, if it has a sprayed edge. I don't care. Also, the sprayed edge trend, I am such a hater, okay?
All right, bud, welcome to the collection. On the shelf you go. I'm in severe credit card debt.
Am I the only one who thinks they look...
Why are all of these, like, TikToks, I'm so in debt by buying all these... Stop buying them! Stop buying them! Stop! Stop it!
Super gaudy and trashy.
Let's rank all of my sprayed edges from best to worst.
They could have done so much better than this. Plain red, 16. Now this is stepping it up. I love the black and red combo. The details are gorgeous, but it's still not completely wowing my socks off.
Like, some of them look really pretty and cool, but like, even like the idea of all these colors being on my shelves would stress me out, because I feel like I'd have to like color coordinate all these colors and then have to buy books to like color coordinate them with the other books that I own. I mean, it's also like kind of pretty clever marketing, because it'll make you buy the whole set.
It'll make you buy,
right?
like, the whole set and then buy them again and again and again.
You're gonna get the 4 books, so you can get...
Okay. That looks like AI.
Edward, Bella, and Jacob in this AI generated field together. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these are AI, because I found a bunch of these like little TikTok shops doing all these sprayed edges, and it's like, oh,
that doesn't even look good.
So AI. Now, another side effect that nobody really talks about is libraries. because they kind of become useless in this book talk ecosystem.
That's true.
Because if the whole culture revolves around owning books, curating bookshelves, color matching sprayed edges, the idea of borrowing a book from the library becomes kind of pointless for the algorithm because you can't monetize library books. And that's the saddest part because that's the only place that books are free, they're sustainable and community driven. And it kind of gets treated like it doesn't exist because I never really hear anybody talking about libraries. So to a lot of people who like don't have...
The thing that I will say with libraries is yes, a lot of people go to the library not to like get books. Or when I used to go to the library, I would rent books with my family and then we'd all go to the DVD section and my dad would let us pick out, like, you get one movie that you get to rent and we can watch as a family. So like I'd go through the sections, I'd be like, oh, like I would look at all the titles and stuff, I'd look up online, like I would do a lot of kind of not really that much research, but I would just be like, oh, which one in like which one looks cool, like which one's trending or whatever, and then I'd go and pick it out. And I feel like a lot of people go to the library now not to rent books and not to like rent DVDs or anything. I don't know if that many people did that, but that's what me and my family did. They just go to like study. Like, yes, it's very quiet. Most it should be quiet. Most of the time it should be quiet. And at least with my library, it's like right across from my school, so a lot of students go there to study, and they have study rooms as well that you can like rent out and stuff. But I do feel like not a lot of people go there to like rent books or really rent anything. They just go there to have a quiet place to study, I would hope, and to just kind of be around. I also think it's interesting, like, the way that you are very, at least with me, I haven't like researched this at all, but like if you're around other people that are studying, you want to study. You not want to, but you have a bigger incentive to study because you're kind of in this like zen where like everyone's studying, so like you also got to study. And it's the same with like going to the gym. Like, it's better to... Oh, did you hear that? My knuckles cracked. But it's better to like go to a public gym because all these other people are lifting weights. Maybe at least when I go, I haven't researched this or anything. When I go, like I see all these other people like lifting weights. I'm like, oh, I want to lift weights too. Like I want to get strong too. And you kind of like exposed to that, as opposed to studying at home when you don't really have that many distractions either. You have less distractions when you're like in the gym or at like the library or at like a coffee shop or whatever, because you don't have like electronics. Like in my room, I have my computer set up and I have my TV and I have my phone and I have like my speaker and all that stuff, and like it's very distracting to where like I want to turn on my TV and I want to watch some shows, or I want to game on my computer when I should be studying. I've had that happen a lot. So yeah, and I used to go to like coffee shops with my friends, and they would study, so I'd be like, oh, I need to like find something to do, find something to study, not be on my phone. So it is a lot better. It's the same with like working out as well. I have found that when I try and work out at home, I just don't do it. Like, unless if it's like walking or running on the treadmill, that's really the only thing that I can like consistently do, or like taking my dog on a walk. But like lifting weights, I have weights here that I can lift, but I never do it. Unless if I'm at the gym. And I have found when I'm at the gym, like, time flies so quickly there, because I'm, like, focused on, like, lifting weights, and I have to rest for 2 minutes, and then I have to lift again, and then I go till failure now, so, well, I have been trying to go till failure. But yeah, just, like, being in that routine and kind of focused on what I need to do and having other people around me, like, doing the same thing, it's really, like, made me lock in to just like getting my workout done, going home, and then I look at my clock when I'm done with my workout and I have to go like walk on the treadmill or whatever. I'm like, oh, I've been here like 3 hours. How did I do that when I only went on like 5 machines? Like, what do you mean? I've been here so long. But yeah, I lose a lot of track when I go to the gym. But you're getting exercise. It's good. It's healthy. As long as you're also eating healthy as well. And yeah.
giant amount of money to like pour into this new hobby.
Underconsumption TikTok? Yes, we're talking to you. You see that? Get a freaking library card. Cool thing about me is I have 2. This isn't just one. Get a freaking library card. If you're really wanting to talk about underconsumption and stop spending money, you can get movies, you can get music, you can get ebooks.
But it doesn't matter what I say, the book talk community will always clap back. And one of my favorite recurring argument from book talk is, why are you mad at a community that loves to read?
The argument that book talk has an overconsumption problem on surface level makes sense. But the further that you think about it, the less sense it makes. Through most of history, women have had to secretly consume romance books. Okay?
What?
So why are we getting mad at women for building these bookshelves full of books that they love? The art of creating a library is becoming a lost art. You need 1,000 books to have your own library. Who is doing that anymore other than book talkers? It is a lost art. The love of reading is also becoming something that we are losing. So why are you getting mad at a community that just loves to read?
Let me be clear, I love reading. Those books in the background are not just there for decoration, okay? I have a tiny, tiny library because I have moved countries, moved places. I can't, if I have books, I will give them to a thrift store. But my point is, reading and buying are different hobbies, okay? And companies are exploiting this confusion. Another thing that book talk girlies love to do is tell you that you're basically illiterate if you're not reading 100 books a year.
Stop with saying that reading 100 books a year is over-consuming. I am a self-proclaimed slow reader, and I can easily knock out 100 books a year. I don't understand the discourse around consuming too many books. I don't think that is possible. And quite frankly, to police reading seems fascist.
No, oh my god, nobody, you know what? Buy whatever you want, do whatever you want. My god, this is just a discussion, okay? The thing is though, 100 books a year is fucking insane. That is absurd. 100 books a year is just 2 books a week. It's not an insane number. I agree. 2 books a week? Do you not have jobs? Families? Responsibilities?
Job applications calling.
Erectile dysfunction? Sorry, executive dysfunction? I'm also kind of wondering what kind of books you're reading, because you know what? If you're reading 2 books a
they gotta be like 10 pages. Like manga. Like she's reading like manga. And she's like, yeah, 2 books a week, yeah. I can't even... When I read my mangas, it took me like 2 weeks, low-key. I am really, really slow when it comes to reading. Because I have to like think. Like I really like lock in and I like think really too deeply. Like sometimes it's just like, sometimes it's just a book. Like you don't really need to think that deep about it. But I'm really slow when it comes to reading. I'm just like a sloth with it. And I actually just finished Hey Mitch's Games. I finished Sunrise on the Reaping. So good. So good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. But that took me like a good, I had like a job and I had school and I was focused on like exams and stuff, but that took me a little bit. That took me I think like a month to read. But I would like read it in my spare time at school as well. Like I was so like locked into reading and finishing the book that I would just read it at school. Like it would be like 8 a.m. and my teacher would be like, oh, if you don't have anything to do, like find something quiet. I'd whip out the book and just read it. I remember for one of my exams, I finished early and I was literally just reading the book. And there was a girl that like came up and was like, oh, you're reading the book? Like, how is it? I'm like, so good. Like, buy it. Like it's so good. It was really, really good. And I had read all of the Hunger Games books, and I really, really just enjoyed the series. So when I picked up Hey Mitch's Games, I was just so excited. And throughout the whole book, just like I thought it was really good. I haven't really read that many books, and I'm trying to now that I have time. But it is kind of hard finding the time. So I don't know how this lady has read like 100 books. Like I think, like I like to read, but I think I've read like, I don't know, like 10 books like a year maybe. And, like, I do read pretty thick books, but, like, I'm also really slow, so she's not a slow reader if she can read 2 books a week. I'm a slow reader. Slow reader? One book is gonna take me a month. I can do it. There's no way. If I'm even, like, I was locked in, like, every second of every spare time that I got, I would also, like, watch other stuff, but, like, I would read, and that took me, like, a month. That took me so long. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Week, how long are they? How challenging are they? Are you reading philosophy? History? I'd love to know. Now, it turns out, like, a book influencer
manga.
actually gave some tips on how to hit that quota, and somebody on Twitter made a thread talking about it. I saw a book influencer give tips on how to read more books a year. They were listen to audiobooks on 1.5 speed, skim long passages of text.
I hate audiobooks. I have read I think I read, like, a book. I don't remember what book it was, but I think I remember reading a book with an audiobook. And with audiobooks, I can't listen. Like, my brain just can't, like, hone in on it. So I was reading while listening to the audiobook. At that point, just read. And at some points, like, the audiobook would be too slow. So I'd bump it up, but then that'd be too fast. So I really tried listening to books with audiobooks, but I also found that when I was reading, I wasn't reading. Like, I was listening to the audiobook, but I was, like, just scanning the words on the page. Like, I wasn't actually, like, reading the book, and I didn't really remember what the book was talking about. But yeah, and, like, people like listen to audiobooks when they're, like, around the house and stuff. I can't do that. Like, I would not know what they're talking about. Like, I'm focused on one thing, like vacuuming. I'm not gonna listen to the audiobook and remember what they're talking about when I'm focused on vacuuming, you know? Like, I can't multitask. I cannot. I'm either 100% vacuuming or 100% listening to the audiobook. So that's why, like, music is, like, my music is, like, really, really, like, I have a lot of hours on Spotify, because, like, while I'm, like, vacuuming or whatever, I can focus on vacuuming and then have kind of, like, that in the background. It's the same with studying. Like, I also can't have noise when I'm reading, because I can't focus on the book. Like, I need quiet. I need absolute, like, quiet. Like, someone could be, like, off in the distance and, like, talking or whatever, but I need, like, quiet. And if I don't get quiet and, like, I really want to read, but it's, like, really noisy, I put on my headphones, I put on some, I found that when I listen to, like, regular, like, Sabrina Carpenter, or if I listen to, like, anything with words, I also can't focus. So I have, like, a book playlist or whatever on my phone, and it's just, like, Debussy and, like freaking all these other, like, I have just, like, violin and, like, piano music or whatever, just to kind of, like, drown out the people in the background, and I can, like, focus on my book, because I lock it. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about.
Novellas and graphic novels to hit your reading goals faster, which is fine if your
Yeah, I
goal
just
is
don't
to
like
consume
I
as
can't
much
do
as
audiobooks.
possible. It's
I
the
just
same
can't
when
do
I
it.
see people argue that audiobooks, graphic novels, etc. count as reading. The beauty of being an adult is there is no teacher or parent you have to justify your habits to. There is no one besides you keeping track of what you aren't reading. You're free. Anyway, I get it. Hitting arbitrary metrics you set for yourself, i.e. reading X number of books a year, can be satisfying.
I read that as X-reader.
To hit an arbitrary metric. But man, isn't literature about so much more than conspicuous consumption? Wise words.
I read 100 books last year because I saw everyone else setting those kind of reading goals the year before, and I was like, oh, I can do that. But it sucked ass. I thought it was a challenge. I wanted to that were happening. I finished a lot of books that I hated simply because I didn't want to waste the time starting a new book. People spent years of their lives on these books, and I would be annoyed at the last 25% because I went over my allotted
Are they even, like, retaining what they're reading? If you are reading 2 books a week, I don't think, for me, like, I would just not remember what those 2 books are even about, like, by the next week, because I'm focused on reading another 2 books. Like, it's good to have a goal, but that's, like, if you're not even, like, remembering what you're reading, I don't think that's worth it. You know, that's kind of,
Of reading time. I want to savor a book. I don't want to feel rushed through it.
Yeah.
I just think reading shouldn't feel like I'm cramming for a test that I'm never gonna take.
Now, I just want to say this, if you don't regularly read or if you haven't read in years, that is completely fine, okay? Finishing one book should be a massive achievement. You should be proud of yourself. Every time I finish a book, I'm like, yes! Especially in the world where shorts and TikTok exist and, you know, they're always distracting. You know, your only goal should be to read more, even if it means 3 pages before bed, which is what I usually do, and then I just clock out because I'm tired. My god, read 1 book a year, read 50, read 300. Who cares? But just read more. I do want to say it's not all bad. I do love that we're reading more. I love that women are picking up reading. I do just want us to explore maybe more classics, different genres, you know, try to explore beyond the TikTok shop influencer algorithm. And sometimes even indie authors go viral on TikTok, like this one.
How many copies of Stone Maidens have been sold? Everybody's asking my dad and I this, and we wanted to tell you guys first.
He's taking videos, that's cute.
Cry when I tell you this. Dad has sold 65,000 copies of his book this month.
I mean, so many people have rediscovered reading and improved their mental health because of book talk, so it's not all bad. And if I haven't said it enough throughout this video, I just want to make sure that you know that it's good to have hobbies like coloring and books. I'm more concerned with those that are performing the hobby instead of actually doing it, usually with the intent of being a rich influencer rather than a reader or an artist. And it sucks because a lot of people get sucked into that aspect due to TikTok or even YouTube. TikTok shop is literally an MLM. And it feels like people care more about looking like they are part of the hobby than actually doing the thing. So yeah.
It's like as soon as someone asks you, like, oh my god, I love reading. Reading's like my biggest, like my really big hobby. Like I love reading. Okay, well books, what's your favorite book? I don't know. That'd be crazy. Like if you came over to someone's house and they had like a huge, like a whole room, just freaking floor to ceiling, and every single wall was covered in books. And then you ask them, what's one of your favorite books? Like, what's like top 10? Like, that'd be crazy. Just, like, let's just close the door real quick. Let's just close it.
You don't have to perform for the algorithm. You don't have to let anybody know that you're coloring or reading. Just do it for yourself and do what makes you happy and spend money on whatever you want. I love you and thank you to my beautiful YouTube members. Please join if you want exclusive videos every month and I'll see you on the next one.
Alright, next video.